Have you ever had to re-explain a design choice for the third time? Or felt like a detective searching for that one perfect screenshot from a usability study? Let's talk about how to document UX the right way, so you don't have to do that anymore. Hi, I'm Alex and welcome to UX Tweaks channel, your go-to place for learning UX research. Let's talk about UX documentation and how to do it properly. Whether you are a UX designer or a researcher or a product manager, UX documentation will benefit you. It's not simply putting all design and research files in one place. UX documentation is about creating a structured record of what decisions were made, who made them, and why. For individual researchers and designers, UX documentation is the backbone of UX case studies. Without it, reconstructing past projects can be frustrating and feel like detective work. For UX teams, documentation helps avoid revisiting the same discussions over and over. You no longer have to reconvince stakeholders about decisions made months ago. You can check which research findings influence previous decisions and whether they still apply to the current situation or need to be reevaluated. Good documentation keeps everyone aligned and prevents unnecessary confusion. It also makes handoffs between designers, developers, and product managers much smoother. The trick is to do it correctly. Depending on the type of project or company you work for, UX documentation will differ. For bigger companies, UX documentation will be rigorous and technical, while in Agile projects, it should be super lightweight. Still, all UX documentation has to be structured and searchable. Always use clear categories, consistent naming, visuals, tags, and links as much as possible. Parts of UX documentation should not be standalone. Rather, they should be interconnected to provide context. Let's take a look at how to prepare UX documentation in different scenarios. Let's start with UX documentation for individual UX researchers and designers. The main goal of such documentation is to help you create UX case studies for clients faster, easier, and better. Your UX documentation should support your storytelling. Document what you did during each stage of the project and collect screenshots and artifacts to help with visualization. Also, document every step right after you take it to avoid forgetting important details and keep the project documentation organized. To organize your files, you can use tools like Notion and Confluence, or even just create a folder on your PC. For smaller projects, you can also use FigJam or Figma. For example, starting a new project, create a folder named Project A, Company ABC, Year. Then, create subfolders to sort documentation according to the project stages. However, don't go into too many details. For example, there is no need to include a detailed explanation of the research methodology you used or internal design specifications. What you should have is the problem statement, insights from user research, design transformations, and your solutions. For teams, UX documentation serves a more functional internal purpose. It helps ensure smooth collaboration, knowledge transfer, and decision tracking. So, it needs to be more extensive and structured to accommodate various teams. Instead of focusing on storytelling, team UX documentation should include detailed research reports, decision logs, accessibility guidelines, annotated wireframes, and technical specifications. The format should prioritize searchability and standardization, making it easy for any team member to access relevant information when needed. Such UX documentation should also be constantly updated to reflect the latest product changes, ensuring that teams remain aligned. In Agile teams, UX documentation has to stay lightweight. Usually there is almost no time for rigorous documentation. So keep UX documentation simple. Only document main research insights, design updates, and key handoff details. If you think somebody might need a more in-depth explanation for the decision made, link to the research study. For example, Mention which usability testing led to the conclusion, but don't describe the test in detail. For UX documentation in Agile, use templates as much as possible to maintain structure. Standardize documentation formats and automate where possible. And instead of creating bulk reports, schedule quick documentation updates at the end of sprints. The goal is to have just enough UX documentation to avoid repeating mistakes and keep everyone on the same page. UX documentation will differ from company to company, but making it clear and structured is important for any environment. If you're looking for a good UX research tool for your projects, try UX Tweak. We are an all-in-one platform perfect for user interviews and usability testing. Plus, we have an integration with Condens, which is perfect for keeping UX documentation organized. Like and subscribe to watch more videos on all things UX related. See you next time.